Yo, what's up? This the Edge on the Creative Life podcast. Today I got one of my boys. I call him my son. He's not really my son, but I gotta treat him like he's my son. Cause as an elder, as somebody that's been there, done that, you see somebody young, you gotta always guide them. You always wanna lead them in the right direction. And on the Creative Life podcast, we focus on mindset, self mastery, financial freedom, community networking, and lifestyle leisure. And for somebody that they had to take the road or the path that he took, I don't think it's too far for anybody. Nobody can sit back and say I couldn't do it or it wasn't possible. But on this episode, we want to kind of hone in on one of the good deeds my young son, or yeah, my young brother did. My young brother, he's been going viral for a good reason. A lot of times when you go viral, they're not good. But this one right here was good, and some things he did from his, from his reality. That's something that a lot of these young athletes need to pay attention to, because it's not like to make it to the NFL is tough. And I don't know what the statistics are, but I know it's tough. And for somebody like him to actually deliver I would call it a sermon, because he gave an on the field sermon, and you can catch it on YouTube or you can catch it on Instagram or any of the social media handles. Like, my man actually, I don't know if it was because he was thinking about his best interest or the other person's best interest, but he gave the kid some real factual information. And so, CJ, when you in that moment, first of all, okay, we got Charles James. These are James.
Definitely, man.
Now, we related because I got family in Jacksonville somewhere. We just got to find the family tree. But we got Charles James.
Charles James II, Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, is in the building.
Duval County. Duval produced a lot of great athletes, and he represented the state well, But that moment right there, that moment that you was on the field in the midst of everything, obviously you had to be mic'd up.
Right.
But to give the type of information you gave, and to be real, but not only include the person, but you included yourself, because it's the reality of the NFL. Yeah. A lot of guys don't know, like, man, it's tough to make it in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you saw that.
Yeah.
You knew that. So let's just go through that whole situation. I'm gonna give you the floor so you can just run it down, because I don't know the other person that was involved, but the information was timeless. Yeah. And I think every year we need to play this clip. We got to play this clip. Yeah. So, like, what motivated you, or what, like, came over you to say, man, like, I got to let this dude know it. And you just let him have it, but it was all real talk.
Yeah, I think because, so I had just finished my rookie year and I was just getting ready to go into my second year. Actually getting ready to go into my third year, and I had played for the Giants. So, the guys I had on my team was a whole older squad. We had Antrell Rowe from the University of Miami. We had Terrell Thomas. We had Aaron Ross, Corey Webster. Guys like Prince Mukamara and Jerron Hosley, they was younger guys. And the first thing they did was tell us, hey, man, as younger guys, y'all need to listen. I knew I wanted to be where they at, especially, Antrell Rowe was pretty much like our biggest leader at the time. And, the standard was set, like, you here to be average or you here to be great, and for my spot, I was an undrafted guy just coming to try to make a name for myself and make the team. So when I got out there, the first thing that I did when I made a few mistakes as a rookie, they got on me. They got on my ass, you know what I mean? And I just took a step back and I listened. And the thing about it, like, a lot of guys take stuff personal nowadays. I knew they weren't saying, I was a bad person or I was soft or I was like that in real life. They were just saying, hey, football-wise, you need to get your act together, because, this is a real job. This is your life. Right now, this is your job. If you get cut, you got to go do something else. So my main thing was to listen. They got on my ass the same way. So when I went to Houston, I was in a spot where I was tired of being cut. I had already been cut. Although I played for the Giants for some games, I had been cut twice.
Cut twice from the same team.
Yep, cut twice from the same team. I came as a rookie, did my thing, and training camp came to cut to 75. I made that, but then went to cut to 53. Bam, Charles James, you cut. They brought me back on the practice squad. Then they ended up bringing me back.
So what goes through the mind of a person that, okay, undrafted, you put your all into this game, and then you get cut? Like what like the day you got cut, how did you feel when you got cut?
It's just another chapter to the story. See, I walked on to college. So, I didn't know nothing about a scholarship. So I was already used to the hard road. So it was nothing like to lock in for me, because my whole life has been like this. No father figure, no dad, you know what I mean? I had my stepdad that came in, so I'm used to overcoming obstacles. So when things like that come, hey man, I walked on to college, I took out $70,000 in student loans as an 18-year-old. I ain't know nothing about it. I didn't even know where I was gonna get that money from. But at the same time, I knew I betted on myself. I know that I want to make it, and I know what it takes, and I'm gonna do that. So when I reach to this level, I can go to my college and I did my thing, and I said, okay, boom, they ain't draft me, another obstacle. Now I got to go make this team. So they took me as an undrafted free agent. They called it a preferred tryout. You know what I mean? A guy that they want, but we ain't gonna draft.
So you got the tryout.
Yeah.
And then you was able to say, okay, like they're gonna invite you to the camp.
Yeah.
And so you took the hard route.
Yeah.
The hard route.
And you got to be one of the ones that you got to mentally, it's going to weigh on you. But when you betting on yourself for real, like, man, ain't nothing nobody can tell you that, man. Look, I'm here to make this shit. My thing was, I'm going to send anybody home. You know what I mean? And then if you a person that I got to count on, I'm going to make sure you on your job just like I'm on mine.
So in that video, you said, okay, I'm sending anybody home, or you saying I'm held accountable for you or whatever. In that situation right there, it's easy to point the blame and not give information. You say, okay, yeah, like, nah, dude right there, like he messing up.
Yeah.
And it trickles down to myself.
Right.
But when I'm looking at this video, I'm seeing a person that's, a little more like, what word would I use? I like you've been a leader.
Yeah.
And you're vying for the same job.
Yeah.
But you're also willing to sit up and say, man, look, dog, these are things you got to do. These are things you got to do. It may affect me, but at the same time, like, that takes a confident person.
Yeah. I mean, that just gonna come from what's in you. You know what I mean? My whole life, like I said, I've been a leader to other people that's older than me, things like that, and I'm my own man. You know what I mean? You know, people who know me know I'm gonna be my own man. Like I say, when a lot of guys took, hey man, when we was in college, those guys took trips and we went on spring break. They went to Panama and Miami and wherever to have spring break and have fun. I stayed at college or I went back home and I trained. You know what I mean? You got to be your own man. So when it came to that clip, and by the way, Corey Moore is a great guy. I want to say that, So, I know social media has a way of.
So, Corey Moore, the guy you was talking to.
Correct.
Where did he end up?
So he ended up getting cut, but he came from Georgia. He came from the University of Georgia. He was a good player at Georgia in college and things like that. And he was one of those ones to where it was like, a lot of these young guys don't understand where you can be the man at college, but when you get in the NFL, everybody's the man.
Real.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody the man. Yeah. Like you sitting across Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, Aaron Foster, you name it, they across from you. You know what I mean? Everybody's the man.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you bring yourself down to approach to where you're able to listen. Because a lot of guys at vets, there's a lot of guys that won't tell you, but there's some guys who will tell you. I was one of the ones to say, hey man, look, I don't want to sit there and watch you mess up.
This guy listen to somebody who's like, okay, will you consider a veteran?
I mean, you can, but
you had experience.
Yeah, I had experience, but my thing is, it's almost like, when, sometimes people say that, God sent angels and things like that. I listen to information if it's a bum off the street, because at the end of the day, I'm not looking at the person. I'm looking at what the message is. So if I'm trying to give you good information and I'm telling you something, you know what I mean, that's the better to help you, don't look at me and say, oh, well, you got cut this many times. Look at the message. Right. And I think that's what the problem was in that clip.
Not to cut you off,
yeah,
but it's good that you say that, because a lot of times in life, we look at the messenger. Mm-hmm. If a celebrity says this, we think it's the best thing that ever happened. But a normal person could say this, mm-hmm. and then you'll brush it off. Mm-hmm. And for myself, I've always been one of those people that try to stay even keel. And I I receive information from everybody. You know, I think my success, and I think a lot of people's success comes from those people that don't get credit.
Yeah.
And when you sit up there and you say that, those things right there, they kind of resonate with the fact that, man, this is how we go in life. In life, we're always looking to a celebrity or somebody else that's made it, that's a public figure, versus the information.
Right.
And the information is what's vital. That's what's important.
Yeah.
But who's saying it, that's what gets our attention.
Right. So and you know, to really kind of like speak on that clip. So we got the ones and the twos. So I was just coming from the Giants, like I said, off of my second year, and you know, I was with the twos at the time. You know, so hey, you know, really ain't too many twos that really, you know, like make the team. If you know, you know. But you know, so guys like Jonathan Joseph, Kareem Jackson, we had Raheem Morris safety, we had Quentin Demps as the other safety. We had just drafted the first round, and Kevin Johnson at corner, had AJ Boye at corner. Spots are limited on that team. You know what I mean? We had 3 all-pro players in the secondary. You know, so, you know, we vying for spots. I know I want to make the team. But Corey Morris, the safety, so we had it to where the safety is going to make the call. I knew my job. I knew I could play 3 spots. I could play corner, I could play nickel, I could play safety. But coach said, hey, the safety makes the calls in this defense for this situation. Cool. I'm going to give him the floor. Although he's a rookie, I'm not going to underestimate you and say, you don't know your job, because guess what? You're supposed to study. You're supposed to be up on your game. You're supposed to know your shit.
Supposed to be a pro.
Supposed to be a pro. So we get out there. It's training camp. It's hot. It's getting ready to go. But now it's game week. Now, you know, they look, the engine's revving. You know what I mean? Kids think that this thing, it's a next week. It's not like that in the pros. And when you are undrafted free agent, we don't get the same slice as the first round, second round, or a regular draft pick get. They're liable to send your ass home off one play. And there's the GM and the head coach to sit back there and say, man, I don't want these guys on my field on Sunday, man. Like, they just don't know what's going on. You know, so the play proceeds to happen. I ask him, hey man, what you got? What we gonna do? I know what I want to do in the play. I'm trying to see if he gonna give me the call. He don't give me the call, but now guess what? Now you fucking up my script. Because see, dog, I got a family to feed. I want to make this thing. I'm tired of getting cut. I'm not finna let you dictate my future. So, dog, get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. And at that point, I think it became a pride and an ego thing. He's too worried about, hey, man, just tone it down. Man, dog, I got chewed out by people who
But he done tapped into your personal business.
Yeah, you done tapped into, I'm here to make it, dog. Like,
I see where you're coming from, because a lot of times when you dealing with a team, they don't understand the domino effect.
Yeah.
The domino effect, it hurts others.
Right.
And when something hurts others, the others gonna speak up.
Yeah.
They're gonna say something. And when they say something, that's when you have to realize, like, man, it's not just about me. And to be a team player, to understand, not even just in football, but in business, everything affects the bottom line.
Yep.
And if you understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, you'll be more conscious of what you're doing, why you're doing it.
Right.
Because a lot of times you see guys, they don't understand that, look, if I make this play or if I do this wrong, it's going to affect this person, and this person going to look bad.
Yeah.
And now it may affect him. He may be the one that get the brunt of the criticism because of where he stood at. But it all stemmed from myself. Same thing in business.
Right.
And that's the thing I take from it. I'm saying, like, you saw, like, look, dude, like, this gonna affect me. You know, like, I'm here to help you, but don't hurt me while you hurt yourself. Go crash out if you want to.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I sensed when I seen the little clip. And I'm like, you're right. Because, like, I'm not gonna let nobody affect me.
Right. And I go so far to say this. The reason why I was on him so hard, remember I said it's game week. So I knew, dog, you gonna be out there on the field with me on Sunday. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I'm on you. Correct this now, because we gonna be out there on Sunday. But if we give it up on Sunday, we going home, dog. Our leash is short. We already, going against the depths of hell when it comes to getting on this thing as undrafted free agent. They really don't want us there. We just they you know
Camp
they
bodies.
camp bodies. Like dog, you know, hey man, you there, man? Hey look, so we can get the rest of the guys a day off, but I'm looking at it as a shot. Like you know what I mean? Like dog, this is my chance. This is our chance to show them that we belong, dog. So, you know, it was the thing that I just wanted him to receive the message because guess what? This ain't gonna be your last rodeo, and then somebody gotta be that person to pass it down.
Yeah.
You know, hey man, dog, you a young guy. I seen this movie already as an undrafted free agent. I've had people chew me out about stuff, you know what I mean, that I got wrong. But just take it and understand. I'm not coming at you personally. I'm just coming at the player right now. And guess what that should make you want to do? Tighten up.
Should make you
Because
do
when
what
you
you're
can
supposed to do.
right, when you can understand accountability, dog, that's the best thing in the world. But it takes a hard man to take that. You know what I mean? Nobody want to say I'm wrong. That's why they say the toughest thing to do is apologize. Because they don't say, man, damn, you're right, I'm wrong. I need to get on my shit. How many people gonna really just sit there and say that? You gotta be a man to do that. So, you know, I think it was so much he was focused on the tone or things like that, but it's heightened, man. It's you know, hey man, it's one of the things, like I said, it's called life or death because guess what? Undrafted free agent, look, they cut your ass, you're gonna be going over there. All right, now you're gonna be at Best Buy now, working at cashier.
You're absolutely right. But like the good thing about it is like this right is a timeless situation. It goes on, and every year, regardless of how much information or how many situations that we put in front of guys, it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it timeless. Because you're gonna have somebody that think that they can beat the system or beat the odds when the odds are stacked against you when you're coming in as an undrafted free agent. But there still is the silver lining is if you do things right, if you feel like you haven't been drafted where you wanted to be drafted at, there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
So we got my man C.J. Charles James II, my son, my adopted son,
In the building.
on the Creative Life podcast. And you'll see more of CJ because he's in tune with sports and the next generation. And I think it's only right. You have somebody like myself. I was a high drafted with the fourth pick. And you have somebody that's undrafted. And you have two different perspectives. And within that right there, I think you can cover a lot of ground because there's so many guys that's going to be in these similar situations. And you'll see more of us talking about it, especially during football season on the Create Life podcast. Charles James, son. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on Create Life, man. Hey, welcome to the show. We'll be back football season, and we're going to have a lot of insight, information coming from two different perspectives.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.